Welcome to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here with the Becker County Sheriff Tim Gordon, and today we're inside, Tim, but not for long.
Not for long. In about a half hour, we'll be outside for about 7 hours, so getting through this event.
Well, today what we're going to see is a disaster drill that the Becker County Sheriff Department, along with other emergency entities, agencies, will be doing a disaster drill. Tell us a little background, give us a little background on what we're going to see today about the disaster drill.
Well, through Homeland Security, annually now we've been putting on disaster drills throughout the county, and we move it from community to community. This winter, Fire Chief Swanson and myself, we got together and said, let's put on a large one, let's put on a realistic one, and let's put one together that will encompass what can really happen in Becker County. So between the Detroit Lakes Fire Department, the Sheriff's Office, and Department of Emergency Management, which is headed by Rusty Haskins, we've focused on what we're doing tonight.
Okay. All right. And let's talk a little bit about what actually is going to happen tonight. I understand you're going to go through, it's a drill obviously, but you're going to go through several different scenarios. And let's talk a little bit about how, these scenarios came to be. Talk about, the county always having, you said that, at any given time in the summer, we have, hundreds, if not thousands of people out in the woods or in the area. And tell us how that came to be.
Okay. Well, we're having it at the WeFest grounds tonight, and as everybody knows, two weekends out of the year, there's several thousand people during WeFest, between 50 and 60,000 people on site. However, throughout Becker County, with the different resorts, with the different campgrounds, with the Boy Scouts camp that we have up north, we have thousands, literally thousands every weekend, and every weekend we're susceptible to a weather event happening, whether it's sheer inline wind of huge proportions like we had in 1997, or tornadoes that came through this summer, and actually Hubbard County got the brunt of those where they just did short touchdowns here in Becker County. So looking at that, we're going, okay, how can we make this work? So we're simulating a large wind event happening and as it would occur in real life. Every scenario that we've set out there has occurred in Becker County. We've had officers and fire departments and responders, maybe not to the magnitude or to the amount that this drill is showing tonight, but we want to showcase everybody's abilities. And it's not set up for failure, but we know there's going to be some weaknesses, and it's going to be up to the emergency personnel to work with those weaknesses and build strengths out of them. And that's what these drills are designed for that we do annually.
All right. This is Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here with the Becker County Sheriff Tim Gordon. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back describing some of the scenarios and what we are about to see after this. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings. I'm here with Becker County Sheriff Tim Gordon. And Tim, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing now. You've got, tell us how this is going to work.
Okay. Different departments and different agencies will be assigned a scenario. Those scenarios are, like I said, based on real-life happenings that we've seen in Becker County. We're going to have walking wounded or injured people in the woods or around campsites. We are going to have overturned vehicles. And if anybody remembers the news from a couple years ago when that campground in War Road got hit, there was nothing left of these campers but twisted metal. So fire departments are going to have to do extrications. They're going to have to bring victims out of vehicles that have been overturned from a tornado event. First aid is going to have to be administered. And then triage is going to have to be, is the victim alive? Is the victim going to make it to a hospital? They'll be transported to hospitals. We're going to have a structure fire out there where an actual building will be burning down. Because the Canadian Pacific dissects the property that we're working on, wind has blown chemical barrels off a train, so we have a chemical hazardous material spill that the fire departments will have to deal with. But not just the fire departments, but anybody involved here are going to have to worry about downed power lines that have been placed out there. Is the smoke hazardous? Do they have to, and how do they get to victims without endangering themselves? So the focus is going to be pretty encompassing, and how they react to a situation like this.
Okay, and I'm understanding, tell us a little bit about the process as far as, I'm understanding that you're going to have kind of a central point of command.
Right, we work under the National Incident Management System. It's a standard that's been established. We use it on any major call. We've used it on previous lost people. We use it at the Wee Fest every year. And what that is communication structure set up where a few people receive the information, it's disseminated, and then given to the proper and prospective agencies. If medical is needed, there is no reason to go through the sheriff or his assignee to dispatch an ambulance. That'll be a medical person. If a fire truck is needed, there will be a fire captain that will be sending the emergency vehicles to the locations that they're needed. And it's up to that operation structure at that level to disseminate what is needed and where it's needed and how much is needed. And once that information is gleaned, then they'll report back to the command center, which is, going to be right next door. But in any situation, this is the structure that is used in an emergency.
All right. And as you said, there are going to be multiple emergency entities involved, and as well as victims. So what we're seeing today is a simulation.
It's an actual simulation based on real life events. Everything that has been placed out there, every scenario has been an event. Dive rescues gone on high wind drownings and boat accidents. They'll be responding. Horse posse has been involved in getting into rough terrain, looking for people. They will be involved in this. Car extrications, every time there's an accident, there's car extrications. Structure fires, we know that there's usually injured people that are associated with any one of these events, so emergency medical services are needed. So straight across the board, what it is having a lot of things in a small area, which is about 2 square miles, and simulating a real event and treating these people as real victims. And that's where the moulaging, these victims are actually going to be made up with realistic looking wounds. So emergency personnel just doesn't walk up and say, okay, I fixed you. They have to dress the wounds. They have to treat that patient as they would a real patient in the real world.
All right. Now, how many people are we actually talking with the emergency personnel and also with the victims?
Okay, we have approximately 35 agencies involved right now. Hopefully we have 2 different helicopters coming in to assist us for life flight. We have 240 first responders, meaning firefighters, divers, you name it, from those respective agencies that I've talked about, so that between 30 and 35. And then we have another 75 actors, whether they're going to be the wounded or family victims looking for lost ones that occur, and, or just people walking up and trying to get in the way. Or in real life, what we have is the human nature side of life taking over. People want to assist, not realizing that they're actually in the way. And this is why we cordon areas off and restrict movement into and out of. But all of those things will be thrown at the command center, will be thrown at the participants, and it's going to be up to them to deal with it and deal with it properly.
All right. Do you have any press people showing up to get in the way?
Speaking of the folks that, what we're doing here is to showcase, especially to the community. The media has been invited, and as TV3 here, we welcome with open arms, because we want to show just the amount of commitment that these organizations have, because out of those 250 people that are going to be out there at the staging area today, they're all volunteers. They're not here with a paycheck. They're here because they care about the community.
Becker County Sheriff Tim Gordon and Carol McCarthy for TV3 Hometown Happenings.